guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me here at my YouTube channel. This is where we talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Movies, video games, comic books, and TV shows. And right now, I'd like to give you guys my review of Justice Society World War II. This is the new DC animated movie that just recently came out, and I believe it is the second movie in the new timeline. So they recently ended the New 52 timeline with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. At the end, they rebooted it, and I believe, if I remember correctly, the new timeline started with Superman Man of Tomorrow. My review for that is on my channel, and I believe this is the second one in that timeline. So what did I think of Justice Society World War II? Well, it had a lot of really neat ideas and a lot of really interesting characterizations. I specifically really liked Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. You know, we've already established in popular culture that Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, is basically immortal. You know, she can be killed, but if she's not killed, she just lives forever. And that's where we're at here. Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, is alive and active during World War II. And she has been brought on to join Iron Man. She's been brought on to join Our Man, Hawkman, Jay Garrick, and Black Canary to take down the Nazis. Basically, they are a superpowered team that's going to go in and end Hitler's attack, and they're going to be led by Steve Trevor. And what happens is Barry Allen, he is the Flash, and he ends up having a team up with Superman towards the beginning of the movie in modern time, and to fight Brainiac. And during this fight, Barry Allen is transported by Dr. Fate back in time to World War II to help these heroes from the past defeat this threat that has emerged during the war. And Barry Allen ends up meeting up with these heroes. Obviously, you know, he recognizes Wonder Woman, but and some of them recognize him as being a Flash, but they already have their Flash. And that was like Wonder Woman's response to him was, "Oh, so the bad guys have one of you also." So they end up having their adventure together. I don't want to get too deep into spoilers here, just in case anybody does want to hop in and watch this movie spoiler free. But they have their adventure back in the past, and I don't think it's a spoiler to say that Flash ends up back in his normal time at the end, and after their adventure takes place. So, like I already said, Wonder Woman is a very cool characterization. She's got that familiar Wonder Woman costume, but it definitely has more of the feel of the time. I loved seeing Jay Garrick on screen. Jay Garrick is one of my favorite Flashes. I remember reading him in the Justice League America comics and Justice League International comics in the 90s. He would pop up all the time and help the heroes out, and that was my first introduction to him. So I really kind of had this these nostalgic feelings for Jay Garrick. So it was definitely cool to see him finally pop up in a movie, even if it's just an animated direct-to-video movie. The other ones, Hawkman was rendered fine, Black Canary was fine. You know, none of them really knocked my socks off, but they really missed the boat on one of the characters, and the character that, in my opinion, they really missed the boat on was Steve Trevor. They made Steve Trevor this puppy dog who just follows Wonder Woman around, wagging his tail, proposing to her every single day, and it didn't endear me to him. And one of the characters in the movie even called him a stalker. And while I don't necessarily think he was a stalker, he definitely was not a likable character. Steve Trevor, to me, is a strong, action-oriented person who, even though he is not, you know, even though he doesn't have superpowers, he is able to stand toe-to-toe with Wonder Woman as an equal as they take on bad guys. We saw that happen in the first Wonder Woman movie, the first Wonder Woman live action movie. They didn't have to nerf Steve Trevor in that movie to show how great Wonder Woman was. Steve Trevor was still an extremely competent person who fought side to side with her within his limitations. Maybe not as a physical equal, but as an equal. They worked together. And in this, Steve was just kind of a puppy dog following her around. Will you marry me now? I'm going to propose every day. And I just didn't like the characterization. The animation was perfectly fine. Parts of it felt really, really cartoony. Like, if you remember back in like the early 2000s, the comics kind of changed. The DC comics kind of changed the design a little bit, and the designs kind of reflected the Timverse a little bit more. That's what this felt like. This felt like, even though the designs didn't look like the Timverse, everything else did. So Superman looked skinnier. He didn't have the square jaw like he does in the Timverse. The Superman design wasn't the same. The Flash design wasn't the same. But the color palettes and the way that the background action was taking place, just everything felt very Timverse to me. And that's probably to appease the fans, to appeal to the fans, but I want these to be something different. The Timverse exists over here, and that's perfectly fine. We've got the Timverse to watch and enjoy, but when we've got these DC animated movies, I want them to be over here, separate from the Timverse. So that's just my take on it. I'd like to, see two separate universes in that regard. So this was a fine movie. It was not great. It wasn't bad. It was just kind of there. It was just kind of this standalone movie that was made to fit into this new DC connected animated universe that they're telling. But I don't see how this is going to really connect in any meaningful way, because it is very much that standalone story. In a lot of ways, this is a Flash story. So I enjoyed it. I really liked that New 52 universe quite a bit. And the way that ended with Apocalypse War, it's like everything that's come since Apocalypse War has just kind of felt meh. so I'd like to see them up their game a little bit. But this was fine. I give this a C+. It was a fine movie. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. It was just something to do for 80 minutes. So what did you think of Justice Society World War II? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your take on it. While you're down there commenting, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I put out a lot of content, and I want to make sure that you're up to date with everything that I'm doing. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the Geeky Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.